At this point, the mechanism where we are trapped is becoming extremely obvious, and it's becoming more and more difficult for us to deny, to live in denial, to look at the other side, because the veil or the cocoon is breaking and is coming down to a part, is dissolving, and so all the lies and the deceptions are coming to surface, and the external lies and deceptions are a mirror of our internal lies and deceptions. So we have a lot of processing right now that we have to do, and it's quite difficult, and it's going to be quite intense. Or it can be easy. We make the choice. But in all this, it's becoming obvious that we got used to an exteriorization of power, which which conveniently chooses for us. And so basically we had slowly given more and more our power to external institutions to choose for us, to do the job for us, and we just all have to do is just to stay in line and obey and believe that that's how it is. We have been given power to the external mirror. The external mirror, we decided that the external mirror decide for us, which is kind of strange because it's a mirror. It's not real. It's mirroring back us. It's like we are looking at ourselves in the mirror, and we decide that image that is reflected to choose for us. I don't know how far you can go with that, and in fact we are not going very much far with that. But the mirror, in order to justify its existence, needs to constantly convince you that you have to look into the mirror and wait for the mirror to give you the solutions. Because if we stop looking at the mirror will stop its existence. So this mirror astutely, constantly creates new reasons to justify its existence so that it can survive. And so even when act as benevolent, act as someone that is doing things for our best interest, which it never does, it does it in a way that it creates dependency. So the example that I was making is if I am a person that see someone right next to the ocean and that is lost and is starving, if I give him some fish, it's good because he will not starve anymore. But then after a while, he will need more fishes. And now I have created a mechanism where I am he's under my power, my control, because his life depends on me giving him fishes, right? If I am truly loving and caring for this person, yes, I give him some fish so he can get his own strength and he can get back to his life, but at a certain point I actually teach him how to fish, so that then he can go on with his life without having to need to come to me to ask for fish. You see the difference, right? So the system, at its own best, at the best of its expression, it gives you fishes. It makes sure that you never ever learn how to fish, to a point that it convinces you that fishing doesn't exist. And so those people that talk about fishing are weird people, don't believe to those. And actually the system itself is on hunt for those that teach how to fish, because they want them out of the picture so that they can continue to do what they need to do, which is being an authority. Yeah. So that was the example. But now this game is becoming really, really, really obvious. Now we are in a situation where we got used to this. To us, is normal. We get fish, and then we ask for more fish, and of course the fisherman that give us fish has a list of demands, and this list increases. So the fish has higher and higher price to be paid, to the point that now to get fish I am like in this big prison where I almost cannot move. But still we are so caught up with this dependency that the idea that this dependency is not going to be there anymore, it really scares us, because it takes us to a point where we are in the unknown. This is very known, familiar. It sounds familiar. It's a game from the imprisoned and the imprisoner. I don't know if you can say that, but and I know that game. I feel cozy on it. It's hard because the imprisoner is asking more and more from me, and this prison is getting tighter and tighter and tighter, so it's getting really hard. But still, in a way, it's better than break free from the prison and walk into this mystery that it really scares me, right? It seems like we are getting to a turning point where we don't have so much more time to indulge into this game. We will have to decide. Either we'll allow the imprisoner to completely lack us, and to a point where there is no any more point of return, where we completely lose our ability to imagine, and then we will basically become more and more robotic, and more food for this mirror. Or we take the courage to start to make the necessary steps to do something about it, and start to slowly, but not so slowly, start to get out of the prison. And yeah, it's scary, but let's face our fear rather than deny our fear and continue this game that is killing us and is killing everything else.
Yeah. You didn't mention, though, religion in this list of mirrors.
No, I didn't.
No, but I guess, well, you say masses, saints, gurus, popes.
Right. So
Yeah.
these are the same. It's part of the same situation. There are just different costumes,
Yeah.
different roles, but they all are part of the same mechanism, and they all have the same agenda, which is to continue to be in control of the situation. Again, we have been given to the mirror a power that wasn't supposed to have. The mirror was just supposed to mirror us so that we could see ourselves better and work inside in order to change. And we got into this habit to have the mirror taking care of business. And the mirror is doing that. He's taking care of our business. But of course, he's also taking care of his own business. And so this is just a game, and all these entities are still part of the wonderful deliciousness of this journey. They are just playing a role so that we can learn. And as soon as we learn, I suspect they will happily take off their clothing as pope or as guru or as politician, and then say, oh, finally I can go back to my life now. You finally got it. Okay, good. Because I was really tired to be the bad guy, you know. So, but it's getting to a point, it got to the point that really I believe that we are enduring a tremendous amount of suffering and pain and separation, and I don't think it was meant to be like that. So now we need to really work into our responsibility, integrity with our heart, and figuring out our gifts in order to take action and make the necessary step to change all this. We need to do it also with a certain certain speed, tempo, because the mirror is getting extremely sophisticated and it's getting more and more difficult to figure out the way out. And I think there is a lot of help we are receiving at this time from souls that are incarnating in the last 50 years or something. I believe there is a lot of souls that incarnate with the intent to help humanity to make the necessary transition